You ever wonder why you don't really believe in the success affirmations that you speak over yourself, or why it's so hard for you to accept successful things when they are spoken over you? I found this very interesting, so I wanted to talk about it, about success affirmations and why your mind is confused. I want to talk about the psychological effect that it has had on the mind, about why we don't want to accept affirmations of success when we speak them over ourselves or when others speak them over us. So let's talk about that, right? Success affirmations and why that happens. A lot of times that happens when you think about all of the things that you have been told in your upbringing, and when you think about a lot of the things that has happened to you in your life, with it, as it revolves around what you believe. When you think about your affirmations and what they have played on your mind, for a lot of people, these people have devalued themselves so much to the point that any link of positivity or positiveness or hope that can be spoken over them, it's gone. It's no more. There's no more. There isn't even a sliver of belief or hope of success for them in their life. And some people have allowed themselves to come to this point. And so it's a psychological effect. I had to think about this when I thought about this topic. It is a psychological effect that has tremendous impact on the mind when you, as a person, truly believe that you are not capable of being successful or doing anything you put your mind to. Why? A lot of people don't know why. A lot of people don't know why. Greetings to you, Wyatt. Shout out to Wyatt. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you guys for joining and tuning in into the live. A lot of people don't know why that happens to them in their mind, because it is a psychological effect as to why we can't accept positive things or successful things. You know, you might have a lot of people who struggle with accepting favors that people do for them or nice things that people do for them. Shout out to Carrot. Thank you for joining the live. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining, tuning in. Hello, greetings. I don't know where you're from, but greetings. Let me know where you're from down in the comments. But yeah, you have a lot of people who struggle with accepting nice things that people do for them. You also have a lot of people who struggle with nice things that are spoken over them. Like if someone came and told you that you are a kind person, or they just thanked you for what you have done for them in their life, you may take the humble approach, which is nothing wrong with the humble approach, but you may take the approach where you yield yourself too far back to where it's like you don't even acknowledge like your helping hand. Like someone could really appreciate what you do and who you are, but you yourself have removed yourself psychologically from what good you do, that you don't even acknowledge it. Some people can't acknowledge the good they do because they don't see it as good. Or even if they do see it as good, they see themselves as less than the thing that they had a hand in. I used to be just like that, where people would come and people would speak positive over my life, or they would tell me things, or I would do something that I know is worth of value, that is good for the world or good for someone, and I would just downplay myself. Like, yeah, I ain't did nothing different than anyone else would do. When in reality, I probably have. I probably did do something that no one else did, that no one else cared to do. I probably did do something that's monumental in this person's life or that's monumental for what I'm doing, but because I can't receive the value, I downplay it. We've probably been there. You've probably been there in that same case. And so that led me to just think, what is the psychological effect on that? A lot of people have that issue psychologically where they block out success in their life and they replace that success with just grind, 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 or work, work, work. Some people don't even accept thank yous, right? Like if you do something nice and someone says thank you, people cringe at accepting the thank you because they don't feel worthy to be thanked. Like, have you ever felt unworthy to be thanked? Like, somebody's like, oh, thank you for what you did. Oh, well, it's nothing. We say these things. It's nothing. Like, it's a lot to them. But for us, why can't we fathom that we've done something great? When's the last time you accepted the fact or you were comfortable and acknowledged the fact that you've contributed? Like, if your name came up for something, let's say it's an award or something you did at work or whatever the case is, maybe it's something at your church or even in your own home, and you play a part in it, does some type of feeling arise in you to acknowledge you? Do you acknowledge yourself and what you do? And if you find it hard to do so, that's a psychological effect. Now, I made this video because I want to talk about where that comes from. And the first point that I made, hold on, let me get past this bus here. Getting past the city bus. I got a lot of wind too. Let me roll some of these windows up. All right, here we go. The reason that one of the things that I brought up earlier of why this happens and why you feel the need to reject these things is because some of these things are just kind of taught to you either from your family, from your friends, or from society. That's one thing you can think about. Like, society teaches men that you do it because it's your responsibility to do it. Whether someone thanks you or doesn't thank you, you do it. On one hand, I can understand that. But on the other hand, it also reinforces the notion that you shouldn't accept gratitude. Like, if you worked hard and you're construction work and you built my house, I understand the notion of responsibility for your job and you just doing your job. I understand that. Whether I thank you or not, you're still doing it for the Lord, or as you should be doing it for the Lord. But on the other hand, if I do thank you, it's hard for you to accept because you've now made the notion in your mind that you don't care. So it's not the fact that you don't care because of the work you did. It's the fact that you've just trained yourself psychologically in a psychological response. Some people by default respond a certain way. Again, I'm guilty of it too. I'm not talking and just leaving myself out of it. I'm guilty of it too. I've defaulted, responded many ways of just living life and doing the things that I do, to where I had to stop and think, no, these people are pouring into me, respond in a way that's receiving. That's another thing, right? When we think about that effect, something in our minds has blocked us from receiving. Receive. How does that make you feel when you hear that word receive? Do you feel like a receiving? Do you feel like you're deserving to receive? Like, you may be a person that always gives. You give, 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 give. You've lived a life of giving. You've been responsible to give. Like if you're a man or woman, you have children, maybe you're a single parent, single mother, single father, and you're just giving to your children, giving to your children, giving to your job, giving to your family. You're just giving and no one's pouring. But then let's say someone does pour. Do you receive? Are you receiving what they pour? Or is your mind just so focused on the give that it's hard for you to receive psychologically? Like it's like, oh, I know you did that nice thing for me, but I still got to do it back for you. For example, do you always feel the need to do back when someone does for you? Like, oh, because they gave me a t-shirt when I needed a t-shirt, then I owe them some shoes, even though they didn't ask me for shoes. I just owe them shoes because they gave me a t-shirt, because I just feel like they did something nice for me, that I just have to do something nice for them. Have you ever felt that way? Why is that? That's a psychological effect. What makes it hard for you to accept or receive gratitude? Sit in that, man. Just sit in that thought. Sit in that thought. That's a very, very heavy thought. I know for me, a lot of that stuff came from my upbringing, as far as just some of the things that I thought and was shown and just saw. Shout out to Calvary Catalyst, childhood programming. Yep. So a lot of it can come from childhood. Yep, that's true. Um, some of us are programmed to do certain things and just do it. Like I said earlier, just grind, grind, grind. So it can come from society as far as this type of thinking. Some of this could come from family. Some of this could just come from fear, right? Maybe the reason why you are anxious about receiving success or speaking success over your life could be in fear that if you speak this success over your life and you fall short, then you would feel unworthy and you feel like you didn't accomplish the things you wanted to accomplish in your life. You feel like you didn't achieve your goals. Because for you, you may feel like, okay, if I speak success affirmations over my life, that I am capable of achieving my goals, I can do this, I can do that. And if you don't do what you said you was going to do, then maybe you feel less of a person. Maybe you feel less of a woman. Maybe you feel less of a man. And because of that fear of feeling that way, you just don't. Maybe you just steer away from it out of fear. It's like, no, I don't do that. Right? At my employment, I'm a human resource administrator. And in human resources, I do new hire orientations where I bring new people in on the job. And one of the values at the company that I work with is being expert in your field. And so with that, I always ask people the question, how many of you feel challenged by the word expert? Like if I called you an expert, right? How would that make you feel? Some people feel very challenged by that word. I used to feel that way until I got an understanding about the word, but I used to feel that way. And I'm like, yeah, no, don't put that on me, expert and this and that. No, that's not me. That's too overpowering. There's a lot of expectations that come if you claim the word expert, because it makes you think so much about what you know that people are holding you to a standard beyond what you know. Or at least that's the way I think about it. Like I could just know 2 plus 2 equals 4, and then someone's like, oh wow, you're an expert in mathematics. But now in my subconscious, I'm like, okay, you've now put me from 2 plus 2 to division. And now because you've done that, no, don't do that. Because now you're living in expectation that if I fail you, then I'm no longer living up to the expectation you've placed over me. So don't put that on me. But in reality, that's not what an expert is. I realized an expert is not someone who knows everything. Like, no one knows everything. That's just a universal truth. Like, no one has all knowledge. So, therefore, if that's the case, what is it then? An expert is not someone who knows everything. An expert is someone who knows what they need to know to do the job. And if they don't know something, they know how to figure it out. That's an expert. Doesn't mean know everything, but when you don't know, you do know how to figure it out, or you know at least a way to figure it out. Doesn't mean you're going to figure it out, but it means you're going to try and you're going to work towards the solution. Those are experts. We have experts to this day that we trust. We have doctors we trust. We have certain people that we trust. Those are experts. And so in that case, we feel angst. I feel angst by the word, or I used to. So some of us, again, that's a fear thing. Like, no, don't put me up there, right? Calvary Catalyst says it triggers my distrust in authority. Yes, it does. It triggers my distrust as well in my own authority when someone calls me that. But when someone calls themselves that, on the flip side, I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, it makes us think, you're an expert. Do I really trust what you're saying? Let's see, with the nature of this video here, right? Subconsciously, we're talking about us. If you were to call yourself that, that's what we're getting at. We don't. Why? Even if you literally are an expert, and again, we just broke it down what an expert is. If you were to say that to yourself, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that lack of not wanting to claim that? It's like you being the president of the United States, but yet you never call yourself the president of the United States. And yet when people call you the president of the United States, you never refer to it as yourself. You always refer to yourself as your first name. Again, nothing against it. I'm just saying there's a feeling and a mental block behind why you do it subconsciously. And that's what we're talking about here. So I want you guys to really think about that. And hopefully you take something from this video to know why. It can come from society. It can come from childhood trauma. It can come based out of fear. It can come based off society. All of these things have trained your mind to believe in a certain thing. And speaking of train your mind, that's the reason why, and I kid you not, I'm not here trying to sell you or anything, but I do want to share this because I am proud of it. Maybe I'll tell you what, I'll share it when I'm done driving. I'm trying to pull out something while I'm driving. I'll do that when I get to my location, but I do have something that I want to share with you with regards to limiting beliefs. This can also be rooted in limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are the beliefs that you tell yourself, which is the reason why you can't become the person you want to become or do the things that you want to do, that have been rooted in your psyche. They limit you. So these limiting beliefs about you as a successful person, you've probably gathered from multiple places. So let alone you feeling unworthy, right? Or not claiming the title of expert, as you know, as the example we just used. You may even have a belief over yourself that you're really just not. You may have a belief over yourself that, you know what, I'm not really successful. So again, we're now moving from a feeling of psychological block, why you can't accept gratitude and why you can't accept success and things that people speak over you. We're now moving to a belief of you probably can't accept it because you don't even believe it. Other people believe it and can see it in you and you can't see it within yourself. That's another reason why you have that psychological block, or you may have that psychological block in your mind about it. You just, you've limited your own beliefs about yourself. I could come up to you and see that you do a good job at your job, and I can believe in you, but you've probably limited your own beliefs yourself. So you not accepting my like praise of you to say good job could not even be due to you just feeling a way. It could just be due to your limiting beliefs about it. Like you just don't. You don't see yourself in that manner. And that's a bigger thing. That's an even bigger um, concept for you to think about. Okay. Shout out to Divine Chaos. Ooh, sounds like an interesting topic and subject. What are we talking about? We're talking about the mind and the psychological effect of why you don't accept success affirmations over your life and why that happens. And one of the reasons why that happens is could be due to a limiting belief that you have placed in your mind. We all have them. I'll give you a prime example of the limiting belief now that we're on. I had a limiting belief myself about swimming, and I used to believe, literally, I used to believe I'll never learn how to swim. And the reason why I believe that is because I put so many other mountains of misinformation on top of it that just wasn't true to validate why. I'll never learn how to swim. And if you ask me why, I'd tell you, well, I'm too old now to learn. That's one. Two, we didn't swim growing up. I'm from Mississippi. We didn't have swimming pools, so I didn't learn how to swim growing up. That's two. Three, water safety. I was around a whole bunch of people that used to play in water all the time. So, yeah. And I would just go on and on and on and on. And then when I finally realized to stop and think to debunk these limiting beliefs and see the validity of them, none of those are valid. What does you not learning how to do something then have to do now? That's one, right? Two, you're too old. No one's too old to learn how to swim. Three, water safety. People play in water. You old now. Like, ain't nobody trying to really pick you up in the pool anyway and throw you. We grown. I'm grown now. And so again, all of that, right? Just debunking all those beliefs that I had in my mind to say, you know what? There is nothing that should limit my ability to be free and learn how to swim. But because I had that belief, that kept me from accepting when I was learning how to swim. Oh, good job, Jimmy. You're doing a great job swimming. In my head, I'm like, I got a long way to go. Nope. Still not good enough. Still not good enough. Nope. Good job. You've made progress. Nope. I would just never, I just never, I just didn't want to accept that. And I kept thinking, what is in my mind that's making me not want to know or feel like I am progressing? I went from being afraid to swimming to trying to swim to actually doing some sort of swimming and just never wanted to accept the progress that I was making. And so that's where I came from when I wanted to just think about, the why. And so it all boils down to, even in that case, overcoming limiting beliefs. And so that's another one, right? As far as the reason why we could be struggling, or you could be struggling with the psychological aspect in your mind to accept success because you don't believe it yourself. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Yep, that is true, man. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. All right, Divine Chaos 1364. Fear is not given to us, but ask me that while I'm screaming over heights. Yep, that's true. Fear is not given to us. We do not have a spirit of fear. 2 Timothy 1. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-discipline. And that's something that I had to remember, is that we don't have, that is not of us. Fear is not of us. So wanted to just come to you today to talk about that and give you some insights regarding your mind, and to think a little bit closely as to why it's hard for you to accept affirmations of positivity over yourself, but also why it's so hard for you to receive. I really want you to sit there and meditate on that today. Why is it hard for you to receive when people do something kind for you, or when people give you something, or when people sow a seed into your life, or when people speak a word over your life of blessing, or when people pray for you? Why is it hard for you to receive mentally? And what blocks are there that you need to uncover to get this out of the way so that you can now live in the overflow, knowing that you're balanced? Not only do you know how to give, not only are you a great giver, but you're also a great receiver. Because if you don't learn how to even receive these little things, then how can you receive Jesus? It makes me think about how many people find it so hard to receive the love that Jesus offers us. He offers you the free gift of life, but yet we find it hard to receive. So I appreciate you guys for joining the live time for a journaling session, Calvary Catalyst. Yes, it is. It is. Oh, speaking of journaling, before I jump over here, let me show y'all what I want to show y'all when it came down to the overcoming limiting beliefs. I am very excited about this. You all here on my YouTube channel on the live will be the first ones to see this. And it's fitting that I'm doing this here on YouTube because this is kind of where it all started for me. So for those of you who are joining, and for those of you who will be watching this when the recording comes out, I really appreciate you tuning into this because I'm excited. I am marketing, but not really, because I'm trying to overcome another limiting belief myself, to not be afraid to share with people what I'm doing. But I just finished, and I've been working on this since January. I just finished and completed my first book called Overcoming Limiting Beliefs. It is a course workbook. It is a 4-week program designed about overcoming limiting beliefs. I designed the cover. I designed the back cover. I designed the material on the inside. Everything that is in this book. It is a 52-page workbook, and I am very excited about it. And hopefully this week, I'll have this on Amazon. And it's very humbling for me to know that when I set my mind on a goal and I created the affirmation for myself, that I am going to walk into my purpose as a life coach. I am a certified life coach of 5 years, and I have not done anything with that certification other than just speak to you all on YouTube. And I said, I want to do this. I want to do this. This is my work. This is what I enjoy. This is my passion. This is my purpose of talking to people and helping people. And I asked God, I said, Lord, I want to do more of this and walk more into this, and hopefully one day do this as my employment, because this is where I get the joy. And God said, well, you need to write it down and make it plain about how you're going to use the certification and what you're going to do. And out of all the people that I've seen, most of these people have things that they offer. Because when I thought about myself, what do I offer other than just telling you that I'm a certified life coach? What am I offering? Just me, myself? And then I even thought, if someone were to want to meet with me and they wanted to go through something, and they just sat and they were like, okay, you're the coach. What are we doing? I'm like, I don't know. What do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? I'm usually good that way. You talk and then I just help. Well, God was like, you have to have something to offer the world. And so I said, well, what if I took one thing that I talk about and put it into words to share with the world and talk with the world and give to the world? And then God made this happen. Again, I am in awe of this book here because this is something that I just never would have thought that I would have ever done. And so hopefully, family, again, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I have never just put out there a product before and um shared it with people to like buy. Like, I'm still in awe when people buy something from me, right? Like, even if it was a pair of shoes. Like, I put some shoes on eBay and someone bought it and I was ecstatic. I'm like, what? Someone bought my shoes they're brand new, even though they're still brand new. But I was just like, man, I'm just humble, that someone wanted to invest in me, and they get value out of something that I have, right? And so, same thing here, right? This is the first time I'm doing this, so I just want to be transparent about it, because most of you all who are watching this, if you're still watching and you're subscribed to my channel, you've been with me for a while, and I'm still growing. And so, as I grow, I want to continue to take care of the people who take care of me, because I've done a bunch of videos really just trying to help people. And so, in this, I now have a book that I'll be putting on Amazon soon, hopefully for sale. And then I'll try to put the link in my descriptions and just let you all know about it. But I'll still be doing the same free content as I always do. I'm just walking in the direction that God told me to walk. So just wanted to share that. Speaking of the Overcome Limited Beliefs, because that's the book that I have. I really do hope that you got some value out of this live video. I enjoy doing the live videos. Hopefully you'll join me on the next live video. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know. I appreciate that, because it lets me know that you guys value the topic. I would like to keep this conversation going about the affirmations. I think that's a good thing that we've been talking about. So let me know in the comments your thoughts regarding our topic today about the psychological effect of why we don't accept things. And then subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to my channel. I feel like I have a lot to offer, and I'm going to continue to allow God to pour into me and then pour out from me into you through the power of his Holy Spirit. I pray nothing but blessings and peace over your life as you continue to walk with me on this Christian journey. And I'll talk to you next time.